Are you nearing 80? Or perhaps you're already there. Have you been wondering why your body and your life just feel different lately? It's a quiet shift, something many of us feel but rarely talk about. You're not imagining it. Well, let's talk about the honest truth. There are 6 specific changes that happen to nearly everyone at this age, whether we like it or not. Now, these aren't just opinions or possibilities. They are medical facts, confirmed by leading health institutions all across America, from Johns Hopkins to Harvard. But here's what truly concerns me, as a doctor. One of these changes is silently putting you at serious risk right now. And frankly, most people simply ignore it until it is far too late. I'm going to walk you through exactly what these changes are. And more importantly, I will give you the simple, proven steps to handle each one with confidence. This isn't about theory. Let me tell you about Evelyn, a wonderful lady from Phoenix. She turned 81 last spring and woke up one morning feeling off, in ways she couldn't quite put her finger on. Within just 3 months, she noticed all 6 of the changes we're about to discuss happening in her own life. But with a little help, Evelyn made a few simple adjustments that completely transformed her daily routine and gave her back the confidence she thought she'd lost for good. Her story is why I'm making this video, because what you learn in the next few minutes could be the very thing that determines whether you thrive or struggle through your 80s. And please, stay with me until the very end. The change I mentioned earlier, the silent one, is the one that happens so quietly, most people don't see the damage until it's irreversible. Understanding it could truly make all the difference. So, before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of you have felt this shift. If what I've just shared feels familiar, if you've sensed these changes happening in your own life, please take a moment and comment a simple yes below. It shows me you understand, and more importantly, it shows others in our community that they are not alone in this journey. Okay, let's get started. Alright, let's get right into the profound shifts that happen around the age of 80. These aren't just small adjustments. They are fundamental changes to the very architecture of your life. And understanding them is the first step to mastering them. Change number 1. Sleep architecture. Let's begin with a surprising truth. Your sleep at 80 isn't just lighter. It is fundamentally, biologically, restructured. If you've been feeling that a full 8 hours in bed no longer leaves you refreshed, you are not imagining it. This is a critical change we need to address. The core reason for this lies deep within your brain's nightly cycle. As we age, the amount of time we spend in deep, restorative sleep, the kind that truly recharges us, can decrease by a staggering 60 to 80%. Think of deep sleep as the brain's overnight janitorial crew. It's the time when the brain diligently works to clear out harmful toxins and proteins that accumulate during the day. When that cleaning service is cut short, night after night, the debris builds up. This isn't your fault. It's a biological shift that comes with a long, well-lived life, a natural consequence of the aging process itself. And the symptoms of this shift are likely all too familiar. That's precisely why you might wake up feeling exhausted, as if you've hardly slept at all. It's why your memory can feel foggy, making it hard to recall names or why you walked into a room. This lack of deep sleep also directly impacts your immune system, which is why you might feel like you're catching every single cold that comes your way. It's a cascade of effects, all starting from this silent change in your sleep. And this isn't just a feeling, it's backed by hard science. Researchers at esteemed institutions like Johns Hopkins and Harvard Medical School have studied this phenomenon extensively, linking poor sleep architecture in older adults to a host of health problems. I once had a client, a wonderful gentleman named Robert from Dallas. 4 years, he just accepted his constant fatigue as a normal part of being in his late 70s. "I'm just getting old," he'd say with a shrug. It wasn't until his doctor connected his constant exhaustion to his high blood pressure and worsening memory that he realized his light sleep was a serious health issue, not just an inconvenience. Robert's story is a powerful reminder that what feels normal for our age might actually be a critical warning sign. But here is the good news. You have more control than you think. You can fight back, and it doesn't require expensive pills or complicated machines. The solution is about creating a sleep sanctuary with disciplined habits. First, a strict sleep schedule is non-negotiable. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day, even on weekends. Second, turn off all screens, the television, the tablet, the phone, at least an hour before bed. The blue light they emit tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Third, get your bedroom temperature right, ideally between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. A cooler room promotes deeper sleep. And finally, make your room as dark as a cave. Use blackout curtains or a comfortable eye mask. I urge you, please, don't put this off. Start these simple changes tonight. Your brain health, your energy, and your very ability to enjoy your days depend on it. Change number 2. The social circle. Let me ask you something personal. Does it feel like your phone rings less often than it used to? That the days came time stretch on with a profound quietness? It's not your imagination. For many people reaching 80, their social world begins to shrink, and this change is just as impactful as any physical ailment. At the biological level, the science is frankly terrifying. Profound loneliness and social isolation have been shown to increase the risk of dementia by up to 50%. Researchers have even concluded that chronic loneliness can be as damaging to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. When our brains lack meaningful social stimulation, they can, quite literally, shrink faster. Social engagement is like exercise for the brain. It builds new connections and keeps existing ones strong. The core reason this happens at 80 is a simple, often heartbreaking, structural reality of life. Friends move away or pass on. Your children and grandchildren are understandably caught up in the whirlwind of their own busy lives. It's not a personal failing. It's a logistical challenge of living a long life. This leads to symptoms that are less about physical pain and more about a deep, emotional ache. It's the feeling of a day passing without a single meaningful conversation. It's that quiet hesitation before picking up the phone because you don't want to feel like a burden. It's an insidious feeling that can make you feel invisible, like you're on the outside looking in. This emotional toll is immense and directly impacts your physical health by increasing stress hormones and inflammation. Major studies from institutions like Harvard and the University of California have repeatedly confirmed this powerful link between social connection and longevity. Let me tell you about Eleanor, a sharp and witty woman I met from Atlanta. After her husband passed, she found her days becoming painfully silent. She once confessed to me, with tears in her eyes, that she had gone nearly 2 full weeks without having a real back-and-forth conversation with another human being. The mailman didn't count. That moment of realization, she said, was more frightening than any health scare she'd ever had. She understood then that her loneliness was an emergency. So, what is the solution? It is simple, and it is profound. You must schedule social interaction like you would a doctor's appointment. Make it a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. This doesn't mean you need to be attending parties or large gatherings. The research is clear. Quality matters far more than quantity. One heartfelt 10-minute phone call can be more beneficial than 3 hours in a noisy room where you feel disconnected. It could be a call to a friend, a grandchild, or a former neighbor. It could be a weekly coffee date or joining a book club. The activity itself is less important than the act of connection. Loneliness at this age is a slow, quiet medical emergency. I want you to pick up your phone and think of one person you haven't spoken to in a while. Make that call right now, before you talk yourself out of it. Your brain, your heart, and your spirit will thank you. If you promise to reach out to one person this week, please comment the word connect below. Let's hold each other accountable. Change number 3. The balance system. Now, we need to talk about something that can change your life in a single instant. A fall. Here is a statistic from the CDC that should stop you in your tracks. At 80, your risk of a life-threatening fall jumps by a staggering 400% compared to when you were younger. This isn't about being clumsy. It's about a fundamental shift in your body's internal stability control. What's happening here is a dangerous combination of factors, a perfect storm brewing inside your own body. First, the delicate gyroscope in your inner ear, the vestibular system that governs your sense of balance, naturally becomes less sensitive. Second, you experience sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength, particularly in your legs and core, which are crucial for stability. Third, your vision may be declining, making it harder to spot hazards like a rumpled rug or an uneven step. And finally, your bones are likely more brittle due to osteoporosis. It's a conspiracy of biology, where multiple systems that once protected you begin to decline in unison. This is the core why of aging's impact on balance. It's a systemic, not a singular, problem. The most common symptom isn't the fall itself, but the fear of falling. You might feel a subtle sense of unsteadiness when you stand up too quickly. Or maybe you've had a close call, a moment where you stumbled and your heart pounded in your chest. That fear is a powerful enemy. It can create a vicious cycle. You're afraid of falling, so you move less. When you move less, your muscles get weaker and your balance worsens, which, in turn, makes you even more afraid. It's a prison of fear that slowly robs you of your mobility and independence. The data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is unequivocal on this risk. But data is just numbers. Let me tell you about Arthur from Boston. Arthur was a proud, independent man who lived on his own and cherished his morning routine of making a fresh pot of coffee. One morning, he reached for a mug on a high shelf, lost his footing for a fraction of a second, and fell. He broke his hip. That simple fall marked the end of his independent life. He went from his beloved home to a hospital, then to a rehabilitation facility. Arthur's story is a tragic illustration that it's often the smallest, most mundane moments that pose the greatest risk. But your independence is not a foregone conclusion. You can take control by actively fall-proofing your life and your home. This is a call to action that requires immediate attention. First, walk through your home and eliminate tripping hazards. Get rid of throw rugs, or at the very least, secure them with double-sided tape. Secure loose electrical cords. Second, install grab bars in critical areas like the shower and next to the toilet. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a tool of empowerment. Third, wear supportive, non-slip shoes, even inside the house. Socks and flimsy slippers are a major hazard. And finally, please, swallow your pride and use a cane or walker if you need one. It is a symbol of wisdom and your commitment to staying upright and independent. Your independence is on the line. I implore you to take these concrete steps now, while you are still in control. Don't wait for a fall to force your hand. Change number 4. Appetite. Let's address something that often happens so gradually, we barely notice it until it becomes a serious problem. Are meals starting to feel more like a chore than a pleasure? Does food just not taste as good as it used to? This isn't just a mood. It's a physiological change with significant consequences for your strength and energy. The science behind this is fascinating. As we age, our senses of taste and smell can decline by as much as 60%. The thousands of taste buds we had in our youth begin to diminish, and our olfactory receptors become less sensitive. Since so much of what we perceive as flavor is actually aroma, this combination makes food taste bland and unappealing. Furthermore, your stomach may empty more slowly, making you feel full much faster. This creates a dangerous situation that doctors call silent malnutrition, where you can be a normal weight or even overweight, but still be severely undernourished because you simply aren't taking in enough vital nutrients, especially protein. This is a natural consequence of your sensory system's aging, a core biological shift that directly impacts your motivation to eat. The symptoms are often subtle at first. You might find yourself leaving food on your plate at every meal. You might start skipping meals altogether because it feels like too much effort. You might notice an unintentional weight loss, with your clothes feeling a bit looser. But the most significant symptom is a pervasive feeling of weakness. It's the feeling of not having the strength to carry the groceries in from the car, or feeling winded after climbing a flight of stairs. This weakness is often a direct result of muscle loss caused by inadequate protein intake. This isn't just anecdotal. Major medical institutions like the Mayo Clinic have published extensive reports on the risks of unintended weight loss and malnutrition in older adults. I think of a lovely client of mine, Margaret from Seattle. She had always been a wonderful cook, but she found herself losing interest in food. Over 6 months, she lost 15 pounds without trying. She thought it was great at first. But then she realized she was too weak to lift her grandchild. She was too tired to work in her beloved garden. It wasn't until a doctor's visit revealed she was severely protein deficient that she understood the danger she was in. Her weight loss wasn't a victory. It was a crisis. The solution requires a strategic shift in how you approach eating. Waiting until you feel hungry is no longer a reliable strategy. You need to eat by the clock. First, shift from 3 large meals to 5 or 6 smaller, nutrient-dense mini meals throughout the day. This is easier on your digestive system and prevents you from feeling overly full. Second, make protein your priority. Add a scoop of unflavored protein powder to your oatmeal, soup, or a smoothie. Snack on things like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a hard-boiled egg. Third, fight back against blandness. Use more herbs, spices, lemon juice, and other flavor enhancers to make food more appealing. Don't be afraid of salt, unless your doctor has advised against it. Finally, keep easy to prepare, healthy foods on hand for days when you feel too tired to cook. Your physical strength, your energy levels, and your ability to resist illness depend entirely on the fuel you put in your body today. Please, do not skip meals. Change number 5. Brain processing speed. Let's talk about that mental fog you may have been feeling. That frustrating sense that your mind just isn't as sharp as it used to be. I want to tell you something incredibly important right now. It's real, and it has a name. It's not dementia. It's a slowdown in your brain's processing speed. Here is the best way to understand it. Think of your brain as a vast, well-organized library that has been collecting information for 80 years. All the books, all the memories, all the knowledge, it's all still there on the shelves. Nothing is lost. However, the librarian who fetches the books for you has gotten a bit slower. The speed at which your brain can access a piece of information, make a decision, or learn a new task can decrease by 30 to 40%. The core reason for this is a natural slowing of the neural connections, the electrical signals that zip around your brain. This is a fundamental change in the hardware of the brain due to aging. Again, this is not a disease. It is a change in performance. The symptoms of this processing slowdown can be unsettling and can affect your daily life in many ways. It might manifest as feeling overwhelmed when you have too many choices, like standing in the cereal aisle at the grocery store and feeling completely paralyzed. It can make it difficult to follow fast-paced conversations, especially in a group, leaving you feeling left out. Most dangerously, this slowdown can make you more vulnerable to scams. Scammers rely on creating a sense of urgency, pressuring you to make a quick decision before your brain has had the time to fully process the situation and spot the red flags. Research from institutions like Stanford University has clearly distinguished this natural cognitive slowing from the pathological memory loss associated with Alzheimer's disease. I want to share the story of Walter from Chicago, a former accountant who had always prided himself on his sharp mind. He started noticing that simple tasks, like paying his monthly bills or filling out medical forms, felt incredibly taxing. He would read the same line over and over, and the information just wouldn't stick. He became anxious and started avoiding these tasks, which only made things worse. He confessed to his daughter that he was terrified he was losing his mind. A proper evaluation revealed the truth. His memory was excellent, but his processing speed had declined. It was a life-changing diagnosis that replaced his fear with a strategy. The solution is not to try and force your brain to be faster. The solution is to give your brain the time and the tools it needs to work at its new pace. This is about wisdom, not weakness. First, write things down. Use a notebook, a calendar, and a planner. Externalizing information frees up your brain's processing power for the task at hand. Second, make important decisions in the morning, when your mind is freshest. Never let anyone rush you into a decision about your finances or your health. A legitimate business will always give you time to think. Third, ask for help. Have a trusted family member or friend review important documents before you sign them. A second set of eyes is an invaluable safety net. Finally, simplify your life wherever you can. Declutter your home, your schedule, and your commitments. Your safety and your financial security depend on acknowledging that your brain works differently now. It's still a brilliant, reliable tool. It just needs a little more time. If you use a notebook or a calendar to help you remember things, comment the word organize below. It's a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Change number 6. Medical needs. Let me ask you a question that might make you chuckle, but it's rooted in a serious reality. Are you seeing more doctors than you are seeing friends these days? When you reach 80, managing your health can feel like a full-time job, and it's a job with very high stakes. The scientific term for what many older adults experience is polypharmacy, which simply means taking multiple medications. It's not uncommon for an 80-year-old to be on 5, 10, or even more different prescriptions prescribed by various specialists. While each drug may be necessary, the sheer volume and complexity create a huge risk of negative drug interactions, side effects, and simple human error. The core reality is that at this age, your body metabolizes medications differently. Your liver and kidneys, which process and clear drugs from your system, don't work as efficiently as they used to. This means that a standard dose of a medication can have a much more powerful and potentially dangerous effect. The symptoms of this overwhelming medical complexity are often mistaken for other signs of aging. It can be confusion or dizziness, which might actually be a side effect of a drug interaction rather than a cognitive issue. It's the challenge of remembering which pill to take at what time, with or without food. It's sitting in a doctor's office, receiving a flood of information, and then getting home and realizing you can't remember most of what was said. This isn't a memory failure. It's an information overload problem that can have life-threatening consequences. The data from both Johns Hopkins and the CDC is alarming, showing that medication errors are a leading cause of hospitalization among senior citizens. Let me tell you about Dorothy from Miami. She was a bright woman managing conditions for her heart, diabetes, and arthritis, which meant she had 9 different prescriptions. Her doctors were in different health systems and didn't always communicate. She had a pill organizer, but one week, she accidentally mixed up her morning and evening pills. The resulting drop in her blood pressure caused her to become dizzy and fall, leading to a trip to the emergency room. Her case was a textbook example of how a simple mistake in a complex system can quickly spiral into a crisis. The solution is to become the CEO of your own health. You must be rigorously organized. This is not optional. First, create a single comprehensive list of every medication you take, including the name, dosage, reason for taking it, and the prescribing doctor. Keep copies in your wallet and give one to a trusted family member. Second, use a weekly pill organizer box. It is the single most effective tool for preventing dosage errors. Fill it once a week, and then you don't have to think about it again. Third, whenever possible, bring a family member or friend with you to your doctor's appointments to act as a second set of ears. And finally, keep all of your medications in one designated spot in your home, so you always know where they are. This is not just about being tidy. This is about life and death. I need you to organize your medication system today. Your life literally depends on getting this right. As we come to a close, I find myself thinking about the people we've talked about today. Robert in Dallas, who learned that his exhaustion wasn't just a normal part of aging, but a critical sign from his body. Eleanor in Atlanta, who rediscovered the life-saving power of a simple phone call. And Arthur from Boston, whose story is a sobering reminder of how precious and how fragile our independence truly is. Their stories, and the stories of Margaret, Walter, and Dorothy, are not tales of defeat. They are stories of awareness and of action. Just like them, you can face these changes not with fear, but with courage and with intelligence. The 6 changes we've discussed today, the shifts in your sleep, your social circle, your balance, your appetite, your brain's processing speed, and your medical needs, these are not your fault. They are not signs of weakness. They are simply the inevitable facts of a long and meaningful life. But here is the most important truth of all. They do not have to define your future. They do not have to control you. The power to navigate these changes rests entirely in the simple, practical steps you can take, starting today. Wisdom is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one final and most important question for you. In the comments below, tell me, what is the one small change you promised to make for yourself this week? It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It could be as simple as, I will set a strict bedtime. Or, I will clear the throw rugs from my hallway. Or perhaps, simply, I will make that one phone call I've been putting off. Please share your personal commitment in the comments below. Your promise matters. It makes it real. And seeing your commitment might just give someone else the courage they need to make their own. If you found this advice helpful and our time together valuable, please show your support by giving this video a like, so that more people who need this information can find it. And to become part of our community of friends, a place where we support and empower each other on this journey, please click that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a family dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, think of one person. Just one person in your life who needs to hear this message today. Please, share it with them. That simple act of sharing could make all the difference in their world. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.